Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Nikola Petkovic. I'm a property consultant here in Dubai with over half a decade experience now. In this particular video, we'll be going through the market report for the previous quarter or quarter 3 in this year 2023. So throughout the video, we'll go through different points. We'll go through individual months of July, August and September. Then we'll look at the full quarter 3 report, top 5 performing areas, sales per price point, off-plan versus ready ratio, interest rates, mortgages or effect of those interest rates, and then the 2023 versus 2022 year to date as well. So let's start with the month of July. In July, we had total of 11,129 transactions in Dubai real estate market, which is 56.3% increase versus July of 2022. Regarding apartments, we had 7,789 apartments that were transacted in July, which is 61.3% higher than July of previous year. Now, the total value of those apartments is 15.8 billion dirhams. When it comes to villas, 2,546 units were sold, 56.1% increase versus July of 2022. And the value of those villas, as you can see, is 15.7 billion, so almost identical as apartments, although a lot lower number of villas were sold, meaning that they were sold at higher prices, right? Regarding commercial and plots, you can see as well, plots also have a significant increase, which you will see especially at the end where we review the entire quarter, all the months in it combined. So the total value of all units and every transaction in real estate in July was 37.7 billion dirhams, and it represents 80.6% increase versus July of 2022. When it comes to August, we had even more transactions, so 12,035 transactions, which is 23.7% increase versus August of last year. Almost 9,000 apartments have been transacted, which is 33.2% higher than in August last year, and their combined value is 18.1 billion dirhams. When it comes to villas, 2,142 units transacted, which is 11.7% less than in August of previous year. Combined value of these villas is 8.6 billion. Commercial had an increase as well, and plots had a massive increase. 601 plots have been transacted, which is 105% higher, so doubling the amount from the August of previous year. Those plots were pretty expensive as well. As you can see, the combined value 6.5 billion dirhams. Now in August we had 33.7 billion total value of transactions, which is 38.8% higher than the August of 2022. When it comes to September, September was slower. The total transactions were 8,235 units, which is actually 4.8% less than the September of previous year in 2022. Now, regarding apartments, you can see 5,364 units transacted, which is 15.8% less than September of 2022, and their combined value is 9.3 billion dirhams. Regarding villas, 1,787 units, which is 2.9% higher than September of last year, and their combined value reaches 8 billion dirhams. Commercials were up as well, and plots, as you can see, 154.8% higher number of transactions than in September of last year. In this September, we had 767 plots transacted with combined value 8.3 billion dirhams. With that, in September, we had total of 26.1 billion worth of transactions, and that is 7.5% increase versus September of 2022. Now, for the full quarter 3 of this year, we had 31,399 transactions. That is 3.8% growth in number of transactions compared to the previous quarter, quarter 2, and it is 23.1% increase versus quarter 3 of previous year, 2022. So total number of apartments that were transacted is 22,136 units, which is 4.8% less than in previous quarter 2, but it is 23.3% more than the quarter 3 of 2022. When it comes to villas, total number 5,627 units, which is 16.8% increase quarter on quarter, but it is still 2.9% less than quarter 3 of 2022. Commercials again increase, and plots 2,702 plots, which is 111.6% increase quarter on quarter, and almost 200% higher in number of transactions versus quarter 3 of previous year. With that, combined value of these transactions is 97.5 billion dirhams, which is 7% higher quarter on quarter, and it is 40.4% higher versus quarter 3 of 2022. Now, quarter 3 or this quarter throughout the summer here is generally considered slower, but you can see that that was far from the case here. Let's look at the top 5 performing areas. Now here we are looking at stats which are for residential apartments and villas in particular. So these are the top 5 performing areas according to volume or the number of transactions in those areas during this third quarter of 2023. So the number 1, you can see Jumeirah Village Circle reaching about 1,700 transactions. Then we can see Mohammed bin Rashid City, and then we can see usual players there as well, Business Bay and Dubai Marina. What we can see on 5th place is Arjan, which had a climb as well. So Jumeirah Village Circle, Business Bay and Dubai Marina will always be historically, for the last long number of years, they will always be in top 5 performing areas, especially when it comes to the volume of transactions. Now we have Arjan climbing up as well, which is a very good area to consider for investments or in a more affordable sector as well, and stronger rental yields. Now when we switch that to value, top 5 performing areas according to value, in the first place as usual we have Dubai Marina, reaching almost 6 billion dirhams worth of transactions for this particular quarter. Then we have Mohammed bin Rashid City, and then we have Business Bay, Jumeirah Village Circle and Arjan. So Jumeirah Village Circle and Arjan, for these two areas, would be very difficult to reach this kind of level without the very high number of transactions. Why is that? Is, as mentioned, these are areas that are considered more affordable, as they are not the prime areas of the city, such as Business Bay or Dubai Marina, right? So logically they will have a bit lower price per square foot as well, which will reflect on the overall value of transactions. But with high number of transactions, they are also reaching top 5 performing areas, even when we look at the value or the total like monetary value of these units that are sold, which is very impressive and shows an incredible growth in these areas. When we go to sales per price range, what we will see here again for the residential apartment and villas, we are now looking at this chart pie, which is combined ready and off-plan units as well. So you can see that 34% of the all transactions went to units that are below 1 million. Then we have 27% of transactions that are for units of 1 to 2 million. 19% went to units which value is 2 to 3 million. Then 13% of all transactions went to units that are 3 to 5 million, and more than 5 million of unit price, we had 8% of all transactions in this particular quarter. Now what we'll take a look is for off-plan only, and you can see how this chart pie actually changes. Now, regarding off-plan apartments and villas, we had 28% transactions below 1 million. So you can see that the number of transactions below 1 million went from 34 to 28% when we look at only off-plan compared to the previously seen off-plan and ready. We have 26% of transactions for units which value is 1 to 2 million. Then we have 22% for the units which value is 2 to 3 million, and 15% 3 to 5 million, with 9% of units which are worth more than 5 million. Now you can see the exact number of transactions on the left. Below 1 million, this 28% equals to 4,545 transactions. 1 to 2 million, which is 26%, is in numbers 4,209 transactions. 2 to 3 million value of property, we had 3,523 transactions. 3 to 5 million, 2,419 transactions, and units that are priced over 5 million, we had 1,507 transactions in this particular quarter. Now we'll take a look at off-plan versus ready property ratio, and here you can see the domination of off-plan market. Again, this is for residential apartment and villas. Now we can see the sales by volume. So the total number of transactions for apartments and villas in this quarter went 58% in favor of off-plan. And when it comes to value or the combined monetary worth of these units, 67% went to in favor of off-plan properties, which is very interesting, and it also shows the strength of the off-plan market at the moment. Now regarding the interest rates again have some time ago now they have exceeded the previous highest historical rate, which was 4.75, and are currently sitting at 5.4 from the Central Bank of UAE, but we can still see a very strong number of units that are transacted through mortgages. So we have 8,611 transactions through mortgages in quarter 3, which is 53% basically increase versus the third quarter of 2022, when mortgages were significantly lower. We also have slight fall of 6.5% in value of units that are transacted through mortgage, which is now 29.3 billion dirhams in this particular quarter. What does this tell us is also that regarding the mortgages or the number of transactions, they are, as you can see, 53% higher. Because a lot more people is now deciding to buy the property through mortgage due to the heavy increases, especially in rent. So people who are living here are seeing their rents increase massively. So for an example, if they paid, let's say, 50,000 dirhams for the rent of their property, they will now have to pay approximately 70,000 dirhams for the same type of the property, which is why many of them are deciding to actually go through mortgage, even though interest rates are higher, to actually try to pay that amount off towards their own property instead of rent as well. And for the end, we'll take a look at 2023 versus 2022 year to date. So from 1st January until the end of the third quarter of 2023 versus 2022. What you can see here, 273.5 billion is the total sales value for this period from 1st January till now, so year to date of 2023, which represents 49% increase year on year. And we can see also 35% increase year on year with 91.7 thousand transactions in this period throughout 2023. When it comes to price per square foot, you can see the also increase of 14% year on year, which tells us that the market keeps on growing in the value of units sold in a lot higher number of transactions, 35% compared to previous year, which was already extremely strong for Dubai real estate market. And we can also see the 14% increase in the price of units, which is also calculated upon the average unit out there. So the units that are above average in any sense will also be dictating above average prices as well. With that, we'll conclude this video. Thank you for your time. If you have not, check out the channel, because you'll find previous reports there, and you'll also find a lot of attractive properties. In the description of the link of this video or the comment section, you will also find a way to reach out to me if you're looking to buy a property in Dubai, and you'll also find a link to join my private group or the community on WhatsApp, where I will keep you regularly updated with all the new announcements, launches in Dubai real estate market, because I cannot possibly record the videos for every single one of them, but I try to keep up on the group and keep the people there updated. So thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.